strictly prohibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem. And they're off. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga Racecourse. Right now, a mix of sun and clouds. We did have heavy rains this morning. As a result, races 1, 3, 5, and 7 are off the turf. We will be on the turf today for races 9 and 10. Right now, the main track is muddy and it is sealed. The turf courses, again, for races 9 and 10, labeled good. We have a jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of more than $506,000. And if it is not hit today, we will have a mandatory payout tomorrow. Right now, we'll take a look at the changes for the 10-race card. First race off the turf, main track, same distance. Scratch 3 after 5. 5 takeaway, and 7 my sea cottage. Scratch 3, 5, and 7 out of the first. Second race, an overweight, number 3, Kilmarnock, is 2 pounds over. Third race, off the turf. Main track, same distance. Scratch 3, Teakvin Flew. 4, Blind Willie McTell. And 5, French Reef. Scratch 3, 4, and 5 out of the third. In today's fourth race, scratch the 1, the Big Fundamental. Scratch number 1, and there's a jockey change on number 2, Chief Know-It-All, to Benjamin Hernandez. Benji Hernandez rides number 2, Chief Know-It-All. Race 5 begins the Empire 6. It's also the first leg of today's cross-country Pick 5. The fifth race is off the turf. It will now be run on the main track at the distance of 7 furlongs. 7 furlongs on the main. And we have several scratches and several jockey changes. 1A, Repo Rocks. The rider is now Jose Ortiz. Jose Ortiz on the 1A. Scratch 2, Lease. Scratch 3, Sifting Sands. Number 4, a rider change. What Makes Sammy Run? The rider Luis Saez. Luis Saez rides the 4. Scratch 5, Take Profit. 7, Snows Island. Also scratch the 8, Win from Within. And number 12, Mo Mischief, will be ridden by Johnny Velasquez. Johnny Velasquez on the 12, Mo Mischief. So again, recapping the scratches in the 5th, which is off the turf, main track, 7 furlongs. Scratch numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, and 8. 6th race, no changes. The 7th race is off the turf. It will be run on the main track now at 7 furlongs. There will be no show, no trifecta, and no superfecta wagering. These are the scratches. Scratch 1, Turn of Events. 1A, Doubly Blessed. Scratch 3, Cucina. 4, Assiduously. 7, Lonesome Fugitive. And 9, Alley-Oop Johnny. Again, the scratches are 1, 1A. 3, 4, 7, and 9. Number 5, Arithmetic, will now be ridden by Benjamin Hernandez. Benji Hernandez on the 5. Equipment change on the 6, Chase Tracker. Blinkers off. Blinkers off the 6. In the 8th race, scratch number 6, it's all relevant. Scratch the 6 out of race 8. Featured 9th race is the 36th running of the Grade 1 4-Star Dave Handicap. There are no changes. And in today's 10th and final race, and again races 9 and 10 are on the turf. In the 10th race, note that number 1, Letterman, runs with cheek pieces again. Number 8, Hold My Call, 4 pounds over. Scratch 9, Rockies, and 10, Starship Bubba. Scratch 9 and 10 out of the 10th. Main track currently muddy and sealed. Off the turf, races 1, 3, 5, and 7. On the turf for races 9 and 10, and the turf courses are good. And we have that jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of $506,564, mandatory payout tomorrow. We'll be back at 12:30 to reprise the changes. Today's first race post is at 110. Coming up next, it's the 28th day edition of Talking Horses with Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. It is Saturday, August 22nd, 4-Star Dave Day. Unfortunately, we got a lot of rain this morning right around 8 o'clock, and we are off the turf for races 1, 3, 5, and 7. As of now, the main track is listed as muddy. The turf is listed as good. If we don't get any more rain, and there's only a slight chance, there was more of a chance before earlier, now it's a slight chance around 3 o'clock. I imagine this turf course will be probably okay, but it's a tough situation, and hopefully those courses, the main track will dry out as well. Don't know if it was open because that rain did show up pretty quickly. But anyhow, it's still Saratoga. We've still got a 10-race card. I've still got Anthony Stabile here, and we're still brought to you by Saratoga Water. So all those good things are happening. And for you, a good thing you can do is head over to NYRA and support racing in New York by playing through NYRA. We're offering you a free $25 play for a new member, as well as a match of up to $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code DERBY25. Head to NYRABets.com and support racing in New York. If you're a member of NYRA Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays on the app, bet 25 or more to win on the last race here and the 4th at Del Mar. Big card at Del Mar, by the way. That P Classic goes off pretty late. It's about 9:30, I think.
9:36.
9:36. Anyhow, interesting card. We'll talk about the cross-country Big Five in just a moment. That's through NYRA $5 bonus if you play that. Also, the Bankroll Builder, bet 50 or more to win on any horse in the 4-Star Dave. Win or lose, you will get $20 back towards your bankroll for Kentucky Derby Day on that Derby weekend. It's coming up in just a couple of weeks. The cross-country Big Five, race 5 here. Race 9 here, the 4-Star Dave, and then races 7, 9, and 10 at Del Mar. The Del Mar Handicap, a Grade 2, the Grade 1 Del Mar Oaks, as well as the Grade 1 Pacific Classic featuring maximum security. Also, what else do we have, Anthony? We have the contest. You still can sign up today. I don't know what time, so go to NYRA.com/challenge. $250 buy-in. Must play through NYRA. Yet another reason to be a member of NYRA, and we'll seed each one of these contests with $2,500. And finally, all the races today and every day on Saratoga Live. Go to NYRA.com/Saratoga Live to find out where and when you can watch the show, and you can always watch it on the NYRA YouTube channel. Mr. Stabile, how are you this morning?
Hi, Mr. Serling. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You good? You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready for 4-Star Dave Day?
I am.
I mean, you have to have a race named after the Sultan of Saratoga, don't you? Especially a race he won twice. You know, John Velasquez, a little 4-Star Dave connection there. Of course, Leo O'Brien, the great Leo O'Brien, trained 4-Star Dave.
Yep.
Son-in-law John Velasquez. 9 wins in this event. 9.
Johnny has?
Johnny has 9 wins.
You know Chad's
in the
never won it?
4-Star
Chad
Dave.
Brown?
Chad Brown has never won it. I mean, well, never. In 12 years he hasn't won it. But, yeah, John Velasquez has 9.
How many Grade 1 turf stakes are there in New York that Chad Brown has never won? Feels like it's possibly the only one.
The answer could be 1.
Yeah.
The answer could very well be 1.
Has a pretty good chance to stay with 4 entrants.
Yeah. Especially 2 of them.
So,
well, 2.5 of them. 3.
Last year during the Serial Live show, Maggie interviewed a couple of gentlemen from the FDNY. And they gave me a hat. It was the highlight of the summer. It was great. They were making fun of me. It was great. And I was out last night having dinner, and I ran into Danny Noonan, who's one of the 2 gentlemen. Actually, he's the one who gave the hat to Maggie. So he's up here with his daughter. Obviously, they can't come to the track, but he's in town. He was excited about that and talked to him for a while. It was great. It was great to see him and reminisce about last year and the good old days when people were here. And hopefully next year everybody can come back, and looking forward to him coming back. It was nice to see him.
I do love the fact that a lot of people have not let the fact that you can't come on track stop them from continuing the tradition. I cannot tell you how many people in town at the hotel that I'm staying at just basically said, we weren't going to let it happen. We were not going to let the tradition stop. And they're going to these day at the races places. And a lot of the day at the races places, I'm over at Prime a handful of days.
You going today?
No, next week.
You're picking up my mom's tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm going to see Patty and Jerry Brown today.
You don't have to tell everybody.
Making the vegetable run. But, you know, they have Saratoga Live on. And watch the races, and look, it's the second best thing, and people are enjoying themselves. And the tradition, it's very important, because I know this place is built on tradition, and people, the fans, have not allowed being unable to come on the track stopping them. And I think it's a great thing. Town still, you know, buzzes. Not like it normally does, but the town still buzzes.
All right, Hamlet, can we get the card started here?
I mean, yeah, I'm ready. You're the one that gets me waxing poetic. You know I'm a very nostalgic person, Andy.
Race number 1 is off the turf. A little hard to do so much guessing. You've gone to the 1 and 8. I've gone to 2 different horses. We've sort of got them flip-flopped. Talk about Foliage for Al Stahl and the number 8 Honorable for Todd Pletcher.
Yeah, Foliage a half to Grade 1 winner Lee. That was a bunch of years back. But this horse is out of Speightstown. This horse is supposed to be able to handle what should have a track that should have some moisture in it. Muddy now. I would imagine we still have almost an hour and a half until first post, but you would think with all of the rain we had, and I do believe, you know, we were talking during the intro, I do believe they got caught a little off guard because some of the Twitter videos and some of the Twitter
I got
clips,
it. Let's.
Yeah. So I imagine there'll be some moisture in this track, and I went to the Speightstown.
Yeah, it's interesting. Al Stahl. These are. It's nice to see Al train some horses for Claiborne. I think he's got a few horses for them. Of course, he trained Blame for Claiborne, so it's nice to see him back. You know, I don't know. It seems like much more of a turf pedigree to me, even though Lee was a very good dirt horse. He started on the turf actually for Al, and it's really more of a turf family and turf routers. So I took a different approach. I mean, there's good workout reports on both the 4 Ampersand. And Ampersand was a Mike Hushen horse about a decade ago. I think somebody said the horse at New Vocations now, as a matter of fact.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And this was an MTO with some nice works and good workout reports for Phil Serpy. And I think even the 6, Congrats for Glory, had some good workout reports on the dirt for Tom Bush. So I went a slightly different direction, thinking maybe they'd be slightly better prices. You don't have Pletcher. You don't have the Al Stahl thing. And it just seems like, those guys are going for turf, and as are the others. But maybe these, one of them's an MTO. I
think it's worth pointing out that only one of these is an MTO.
Right. And he's not going to be favored in all likelihood. I mean,
right, unless there's some real steam. I mean, right now the horse is the 4th choice.
It's very early, though. The 2 Explain did have a smidgen of trouble first time out, but pinched after start. I don't know. I didn't see the greenness, to be honest. I watched the head-on. I didn't see anything, but maybe that horse will run better. The one dirt start, though, was relatively abysmal.
I'll tell you one thing. If there is moisture in this track, and he's anything like his dad, they better tie on today, because I didn't use him, but his father's all he did was
Tomlinson is not that high.
Tomlinson's not that high. I noticed that. I did notice
only 3,
that.
but it's got an asterisk, because that may be because...
Well, that's because Exaggerator bent over at the quarter pole and ate up the mud when he ran in it.
Race number 2. We'll take a look at Air Touch last race when he lost to Network Effect, who was recently 2nd in the Met Mile.
And now he's running for $25,000.
This is an ugly drop down. I'm sorry. I'm going to show you a stat, and we're going to talk about it with Todd Pletcher. First time for tag dirt when horses are odds on, and I have to imagine this horse is going to be odds on.
Oh God, this horse! David made him 2 to 5 on the morning line. I don't think he'll be higher than that.
And he's not meeting a particularly tough field, and he's a very likely winner. I'm not taking a big stand against him, but this is a horse that he was one step away from being in a stake race. This horse, Todd is 10 for 21 with every one of them hitting the board. First time for a tag on the dirt with odds on runners. But that's not getting it done. You're not cashing. You're not making money if you're betting with that. And, I thought it was just sort of a fascinating stat. I mean, they're all running, and a high percentage are winning, but they're supposed to win at a very high percentage. And I don't know. I just couldn't pick this horse on top because this drop down, it's a bad one, Anthony.
These horses are ordinarily not for you and me. We don't agree on much up here, but these horses are usually, we stay away.
Well, apparently we didn't agree here.
His worst race buries these horses.
No, his race 2 back doesn't bury these horses. But
you don't think his race 2 back behind Honest Mischief?
You know what I think of Honest Mischief.
Andy, compared to this bunch?
I don't know.
Come on.
Not so sure. Yeah, I think that My Papa might run a figure in the mid-70s today. Maybe even higher. I don't know.
And this is also, by the way, assuming that Air Touch is going to do minimal.
We can hold off on that stat until I'm talking about My Papa,
minimal,
if you don't mind.
That's assuming Air Touch does minimal running. He'd have to run the race of his life, assuming Air Touch doesn't show up at all. It's his worst race ever.
I know, but I think there's always a possibility these horses don't run.
Yeah.
It's not like we don't see it before. And I can't pick this horse at 2 to 5.
Isn't your stat counter?
If the horse's street is 1 to 2, Anthony, and they win at slightly less than 50%, he's a bad gamble.
It's a bad. I'm not talking about a gamble. I'm just saying the horse is supposed to win.
I agree.
You know what I mean? And
but I'm not trying to pick horses to win. I'm trying to get value. I'm trying to search for value.
I understand.
And I think this horse is going to be bad value. This drop down stinks to high heaven for me. He's probably going to win. But I can't take a horse like this drop down.
He already has a 2-year layoff on his card. Now you're looking at a 9-month layoff.
Right.
Listen, I hate to sit here.
Big Fundamental didn't run great last time, and he scratched today.
Yeah. Probably scratched because of the track.
Really?
That would be my guess.
Does he have a... Really?
He does, but when you have horses off layoffs like that, I think Todd tries to stay away from him.
Well, why isn't Air Touch scratched?
I don't have any answers for you
if he scratched the other one, he would have scratched this one. I would think because of the track. Maybe I'm wrong. Now, I don't know. Maybe the one was a vet scratch. I didn't check.
Right,
I don't know the answers to those. He's probably going to win, Anthony.
Yeah.
Now we can show the stat for My Papa. Thank you. Your main man, Rudy Rodriguez. How about this stat? The guy is over 30% first off the claim with dirt sprinters with 166 claims. So he's made 33-plus claims a year for the last 5 years. Came back in dirt sprints. Just came back in dirt sprints. And he's winning almost a third of them. And, they're paying almost $7.
As Rudy likes to say, he likes to go shopping.
This horse was involved in a pace that collapsed last time out. I'm just going to kind of hope they just send him from the inside. And that's a weird one. But I just couldn't resist.
If you're going to take a shot against a favorite, he is the only horse you could take the chance.
Well, I mean, Macho Jack didn't run that bad last time. I just don't really like the race he's coming out of. I got to bet. I got to bet the one.
I don't like the barn change.
I got to lose a few dollars on the one, Anthony.
Okay.
So if I'm going to lose a few dollars on the one, and I know I'm going to lose a few dollars, or at least I'm going to bet him and hope I win, but I know I'm going to lose if he doesn't win, I'm going to pick him.
Okay.
I'm not going to put him second and say, but I'm betting on my papa.
If you're going to bet him, you got to pick him.
If the people that want to count my top picks winning,
no, what I'm just saying,
at it.
if you're going to bet him, you have to pick him because
and I'm going to. I am
right
going
price.
to bet him.
All right.
Race number 3. Yeah, I got to tell you, race number 3. I don't think any of us believed it when we saw the scratches. I even said it on my Twitter feed because I knew a lot of people would ask me and say, sure you have the right scratch in the race 3 because both MTOs came out. I don't know the story, What are you doing here? You got the horse on top that never wins.
Yep.
I know. He lays over him, but he never wins, Anthony.
Yeah, I know.
This kind of is the Cap de Cruz argument. When you said to me, never wins, and I said, but she lays over the field, and you said she never wins. We argued up here, but now you're taking the other side. You're taking the horse that never wins.
Well,
it's going to be a heavy favorite.
Pay
no edge to the morning line.
I had a big opinion in the Cap de Cruz race. I don't really have a huge opinion here.
How'd that work?
It was terrible.
I picked the same horse.
But what I'm saying, right, we both did. We both thought we were going to be snarky. We got our 8-1 and we tore everything into pieces. Yeah, really. That was maybe the 3/16. So that was brutal. Overjoyed. Yikes.
Yeah, I wasn't overjoyed.
I was not either.
Underjoyed.
If that's such a thing. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't win. I mean, that's 7 for 16 second in his career with just one victory. Montauk Daddy, I don't know what happened last time. He just kind of ran off. And now they're going to take the blinkers off, and Jose Lezcano is going to take over. And you'd have to think, from going a mile on the turf to the 5.5 on the dirt, he's not going to be.
He just loses. He's just I know the race came up fast, 2 back. He just loses, this horse.
But I'm going to say this again. Most of his dirt races are faster.
But that was the Cap de Cruz argument I kept having with you, and you kept saying, but she never wins.
I think her numbers were a little more.
No, they weren't. They were significantly better.
Were they?
Horses, yes.
I don't remember.
She was
we got a chance to play her again on Wednesday.
I'm not going to get on a soapbox and say I'm taking a big chance against this horse, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't know why Linda scratched Blind Willie McTell. I really don't. Maybe she didn't want to run the horse in a wet track, but he's run well in him before. But maybe he's had some issues and she didn't want to run him. But why do you enter an MTO if you don't want to run a wet track? What did you say, Rob?
She didn't ship him. Okay. So she didn't ship him.
They didn't expect rain.
Oh, that's a good point.
They didn't expect rain. Thanks,
you, Rob.
Hey, Rob just did the first time in his entire career at Nairi. He did something useful. Thanks, Rob.
That's not nice.
It's a big moment.
That's
I'm kidding.
Incorrect.
He knows I'm kidding.
That's terrible. That was a good job, though, even hearing that. So
I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Ad-libbing by me.
Yeah.
So people know Linda didn't ship the horse because she didn't expect the rain. Montauk Daddy's...
Like those of us who those of us who scratched them on Wednesday when we had to get
right,
the car.
Anthony's like the guy who rips tickets up before the race is official for no reason because they're weighing down his pockets.
Real idiot.
You're an idiot.
I know I'm an idiot.
You really are.
I just said it.
You know what? This horse ran a sloppy track and ran second the debut off the turf, Montauk Daddy. He's had some trips and excuses. I want to take a flyer with this horse. I don't think the one can really stand up in the dirt.
Let's. Why is Linda leaving this horse in?
Maybe because she felt bad about Blind Willie McTell.
She didn't ship. It's not like I would buy that argument if Blind Willie McTell was sitting a half a mile from us right now.
Maybe she felt bad and she just gave it a shot with the horse.
I don't know. That to me, this kind of changes things. The non-ship thing, and now you're leaving this horse in?
You know that grassy knoll?
I don't know,
Anthony has
man.
claimed it all for himself.
You want to
go ahead.
You want to go 1 versus 6 for a lunch?
1 versus 6? Why 6?
Well, last 2 picks.
No, I'll go 2 versus 1.
No, I put the horse second. What are you kidding?
Okay. I don't really have an opinion for fourth. I just put one of the two. I think Montauk Daddy's kind of an interesting horse here. I want to give him a little bit of a shot. And I'll tell you what, I'm using Jake Rocks because nobody loves Jake Rocks more than I do.
I mean, he's like equine-wise, Crocheron Kid on top.
By the way, I told you last time he had a shot, and
I'm
he
gonna
actually
give you
ran
a
pretty
little
well.
credit now. JC Shooting Star second. Good job.
Right.
And this horse is third. But Dennis Lauman supersedes all three
By the
of
way,
those horses.
who was on winning factor before everybody?
You were.
Right.
That you were. When how about the job
Well,
David's done with him?
I agree, but when they shipped him back to the turf, why they sent him to Finger Lakes to run in the dirt as a 3-year-old after his 2-year-old races were not so bad, but he's done great with them. So occasionally I'm right about him. Usually my pets just stink
He's
and
been
they
good.
keep losing.
That horse
But
been really
occasionally-
David Donk's done a really good job with him.
The point I'm making is you're playing the pick 5. Don't just, and I'm saying this to people, and I know you agree with this, don't just look at American Mandate and say, he's fast in these, he's going to win.
No,
Be
and
careful.
you also have to worry, and this is the other thing. Luckily, this is the third race. Watch the first 2 races. If speed's really good for some reason, he's even, you probably want to look against him even a little bit more.
Who's faster than him here?
I'm sorry?
I guess Montauk Daddy.
Yeah.
Fast Getaway. Anyway.
Fast Getaway's probably faster than him, too.
I cannot pick horses like American Mandate on top. I can't do it.
Okay.
I just can't do it.
All right.
Race number 4. I had the over-under a number of starters at 4.5, and I thought under was the favorite. I did not think the Big Fundamental was the one that was going to come out, though.
Me either.
And we both scratched. I mean, it just feels like, I don't know.
I have
Majid's going to come back. A good pick the other day with him. I
Thank
can't
you.
take Chief Know-It-All. Like, it's impossible to trust with his connections.
He gets Benji Hernandez, by the way.
Feel
Ricardo
like
Santana Jr. is not on that horse. It's Benji Hernandez. That was a late rider change.
I haven't forgiven Benji for that turf sprint the other day.
So,
I'm still angry.
I mean, if there was ever, and I don't know, I'm not going to speak for you, but I got to tell you, I was ready to lean on the big fundamental today. I was.
Also known as, who is the Big Fundamental?
That's my man Shaquille O'Neal.
No, it's Tim Duncan.
Oh, who was Shaq?
I don't
can't
know.
believe I whiffed on
The
that. I
big
knew that.
something,
I
don't
just
know.
answered too quick.
Big Fundamentals. Tim Duncan.
Yeah. Wasn't it?
No, it's Tim Duncan.
No,
That's
I
his
know it
nickname.
was. I wasn't a big Tim Duncan fan. Maybe that's why it was out of my
He
head.
must be crushed.
He is.
And hey, I hear he watches Talking Horses and he defends you to all his friends, and now you go and say
he's a
that.
big Serling fan. David Robertson is a big Stabile fan. The Admiral.
Yeah.
I got that one right.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what. It's kind of hard for me to like Majid coming back this quickly off the barn.
He's a
change.
little tough
But
to
you
do.
could say that, and there's no disrespect to Mercant. You could say he's running off Rudy's training in 3 days, right? Hammer and Aimer, Chief Know-It-All. I mean,
Can I bet you a lunch that the 4 beats the 2?
no, I'm not. No, I have no. Because remember,
I
Chief
tried.
Know-It-All was my 4th pick.
That's why I'm up 56
You know what I
lunches.
mean? No. I mean,
there was a time when you fell for those.
no, not this one.
I
back
don't,
into
I
heavy
don't,
roller.
I don't
What
really
else
know
are you
what to
supposed do
say. I
here?
just think heavy roller, the only thing I would like to know, do you know why this horse is, where's Rob when we need him? Rob, get back out here. I'm sorry. I apologize. Why was the claim voided on this horse last
I
time?
don't know.
I couldn't find out why the claim was voided.
Me
on this.
either.
Maybe someone will
I
text
looked.
me, but I don't know why the claim was voided on this horse. And that I was wondering. Sometimes something maybe, listen, it could be administrative. But that bothered me. Didn't it bother you a little bit?
And listen, and
now he's in for 20?
The void bothers me.
Now
the
he's in
drop,
for 20.
The drop 2, and
he was claimed,
let's talk
and it
about
was
the
voided.
obvious thing.
And I'll tell
He
you,
didn't run 2 steps last time.
Here's the thing. If it was voided by an administrative decision, why would you be running him back for 20? Because somebody tried to claim him for 40, right?
Correct. And you'd have to think
Can I
if it
get
was
a great
administrative.
point, please?
It's a wonderfully great point. How about that?
I did that off the cuff, too.
Listen, and we're making these knocks against the horse we both picked on top. But it's that kind of,
I can't use the 2 and 5. If Majid comes back and wires the field again, I tip my hat to the connections. But David said all he knows. David said it was listed as an administrative void. Now they're running him for 20?
they're going to line up for 20, right? And that's the problem, too. Like, he was gone for 40, and you're running him for 20. He's gone today. They may have to have a double shake for him today.
That's bizarre.
The way they claim horses.
Isn't that
up here.
bizarre?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy game. Shall we move
I don't
on?
know, Super Dude. I don't know.
I just feel like one of Heavy Roller or Super Dude is going to run a race that's good enough to beat
And
the
Super
others.
Dude now is
I'll use a little hammer.
Super Dude's probably the horse that's going to get the trip now, right? Chief Know-It-All and Majid are in front.
I don't know. Yeah, I think so.
He just pockets up and inherits?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Cheap Note is going to do. What about Hammer and Namer? He's not slow.
No. Well, that's
Heavy Roller's going to come from last year, right?
But that's why I think Super Dude had probably.
Maybe he's
I
vulnerable.
should have probably flipped him, but I don't know. It's 6 in one hand, half a
It
dozen
gets more
in the
confusing the more we talk about it.
other. Just use the both of them. That's all I'm going to do.
It was administrative.
Okay. Well, there you go. Still weird.
Maybe Michael Dubb just wants to win the. He wants to win races. Yeah,
Yep.
I think it's 10-7 right now. Is it 10-7?
Long
way to go. He's overcome bigger deficits than that in less time, believe me. I think he did 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Race number 5 off the turf at 7 furlongs. So people understand. 5.5s always go to 5.5. Miles always go to 7 furlongs. Mile and a 16th will go to a mile and an eighth for older horses, but 7 furlongs for 2-year-olds. That's why the 5th is going to 7 furlongs. Mile and eighth will go to mile and eighth, and others, whatever. So that's why you've got 2 at 5.5 and 2 at 7.
Later.
Well, races 5 and 7 are 7 furlongs. Races 1 and 3 are at 5.5.
Yes.
It's not that complicated.
As they should be. I don't know. Is there a race? I haven't looked at the last book. Is there a race going a mile and an eighth? There's usually one.
Yeah,
for the 2-year-olds.
I went through the book.
Enforceable won it last year, and he'll be in the Kentucky Derby this year for Mark Cassidy. Adam Biscuits is going to ride out, I believe. Yeah, so we're left with 7.
So you've gone to the entry.
I've gone to the entry.
You know what's kind of annoying about the 1A? You're going to get stuck with the 1. I think the 1A is very dangerous, but talk about it. We had a drink at Lee's house last night, so you had to pick a
I had
source.
a steak at Lee's house last night.
Steak?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have to pick a source.
We had steaks. No.
What's that? That line in the movie? Look. I don't know. Oh, it's Serpico. What does it say? Love my garden, love the garden, love the man, love the steak, love the guy's horse.
I thought you were going to go to Rounders. Look who's treating who to a free meal. Yeah, Repo Rocks. Jose Ortiz is going to ride. So the rider changes in here. Luis Saez is on the 4.
Why do you like him more than you like the number 12, who finished 5 lengths ahead of him last time? I'm not. I put him ahead too, but I'm curious your opinion.
It was outside when the inside was good. It was chasing
It wasn't a big advantage that day. Speed was. It wasn't. I went through it.
That was the opening weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a big. It wasn't a big rail. It was. The rail was good, but it wasn't a big advantage. That's all.
He was outside in his debut. I think the 7/8 is going to help this horse.
Why? He was losing ground.
Yeah, but he was already stuck wide in the debut.
How much does Lee love him today? This was the horse that Lee said that they loved, that Mott said, told me that Lee said, how do you work? And Mott said, okay. The next thing he knew, I think he's dangerous.
He's got a 403 Tomlinson.
He was 4 wide, kind of out in no man's land. You know, he didn't break. He broke a step slow, and he just was always on the wide chase. And my feeling is that Bill Mott's horse rates to improve more in his second start, whereas a Todd Pletcher that's even money first time out is supposed to win. That doesn't mean he's going to win, and we've seen Todd win second time starts. When a Todd Pletcher horse is bet like that, they're just supposed to get it done. And to be honest with you, I would far prefer his other firster, the MTO, Likeable. Now, there is a 3-year gap from the last foal, but there are 4 foals from this dam. They were all runners.
They all won.
One of them was Dawn the Destroyer, who ran for Kieran McLaughlin.
Stone Street, she was a stakes. She won stakes, right?
All runners, every single one of them. I think Dawn Destroyer liked the wet track, didn't she?
At one point in her career, she had only won on a wet track. I think she won her first. She was like 3 for 3 on wet tracks and had never won on dry ground.
Yeah, so I thought that this was the more interesting. I didn't see any workout reports here. But I'm going to use your 1A. The 1A and 11 were the ones I want to focus. I don't want the 12. You're the same way with the 12.
Yeah.
I think you. Now, the 9 is the interesting horse.
Yes. Very interesting. Half to Oxbow.
Well, it's a problematic situation because it's a Curlin that cost a lot of money that has absolutely no turf pedigree. I mean, Curlins can turf, but it's all dirt. It's Oxbow. Yet Grand Motion entered this horse in the turf first time out. So that says to me he's not really showing me anything in the dirt. Having said that, he's working at Fair Hill. But
let me give you this. But maybe this horse needs distance, and it's one of two things. If it's turf, he gets the mile and a 16th, and he gets a race into him. If it rains off, it goes to 7. And look, maybe this horse needs to go long.
Okay.
But he gets the 7.
I never buy that stuff, but maybe you're right. You may be right.
That's what I was when
I got him in there too.
Because I was with you. I was like, there's no turf pedigree here. And you know, it's not like there's a huge turf influence on top. It made no sense. And then I said, well, you know what? Maybe he just needs to run this horse long. And if it comes off, he gets the 7. And sure enough, it comes off and he gets a 7 furlong. So I think I'm like you. I'm using him. I think he's a very, very interesting horse today. He goes to Manny Franco, who Graham's been using, obviously sharing. This horse is very interesting today to me. If the horses that have run aren't any good,
yeah,
he's going to be 3 times the price of the Pletcher first time starter, maybe more.
I think the horse, you know, to play against, obviously. I mean, Nautilus isn't impossible. It's not as though his dirt races were terrible.
No.
To be fair.
No.
But he's going to take money. I just prefer others. But his dirt races aren't terrible. He's
I
not.
gotta tell you what. I think the other part of the entry from Mott. I mean, that horse.
Well, you think every Mott horse.
He's
can
a
win.
Speightster. I thought he ran okay first time out. He looked like a horse that was going to want more ground.
Well, you got to like both lead horses here. You can't dismiss one.
I always root for my friend Lee.
I root for my friends too, but I don't have to pick their horses.
I think, and again, like Andy said earlier, ignore that morning line. I mean, Repo Rock's going to be, what, 4-1? The entry's not going to be higher than 4 or 5-1,
I don't know. This is a tricky race. We'll see how it plays out. That is the first 5. The late pick 5 starts in race 6. Oh, also, the Empire 6 starts in race 5, mandatory payout tomorrow, assuming it's not taken down today in the Empire 6.
There's a mandatory payout tomorrow anyway, but hopefully there's a nice juicy carryover for tomorrow.
Talking Horses presented by Saratoga Water. We'll be back in just a moment.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
I'm not sure that horse was an administrative
Heavy
claiming
roller.
void. Heavy roller. I'm getting conflicting reports, but play as you want. Race number 6. Anthony stole my pick here. You just admit it. You read my mind and knew I was going to pick this horse. You did. You did. Just spit it out.
Oh, this is what Jeff was talking about on Twitter last night.
What was Jeff? Yeah, you picked. Go ahead. Why do you like Venita? Go ahead. You stole my horse. Tell everybody why you like the horse, and don't give us some gobbledygook. Give us some substance here, Angus.
What?
You got the black shorts on.
You know, as
Angus.
we get closer to the weekend, you nudge me more and more. What is that about? That you're going to miss me come Monday and Tuesday?
I miss you every time, all day when I don't see you. I miss you. You know, Belmont, we spend a lot more time together. Our offices are
Right
close.
across
Yeah. We really don't see each other that much up here. We see each other much more down there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
this is it.
go on, Angus. Why do you like Venita?
Second time starter. You know, I'm always a big fan of horses on their second start. Gets a pair of blinkers. Kendrick Comush and Tommy Albatrani teamed up earlier in the meet with a horse off a similar debut. And quite frankly, I do not like the rest of them.
Okay, one of us watched his replay. So I'm not telling you who, but one of us watched his
talked
replay,
about
and
this.
I'm
You
going
know
to
I watched
discuss.
the replay.
No, you didn't, because you would have talked about it if you watched it. First of all, he broke slow. He
You're a
broke
replay
in,
guy.
and he slammed into the gate. Okay, that's the number one thing that happened. Second of all, that was a day where the rail probably was an advantage at Belmont, and he was 3 to 4 wide, and he actually made a reasonable run to get into the race. And frankly, when he was beaten, it's not that he didn't try, but once Kendrick realized he wasn't getting anything, he wasn't beaten up at the end of the race, so the final margin may be a bit exaggerated. So there's plenty of stuff there, and frankly, if this isn't the right field to take a shot with somebody, I don't know what is. I mean, Central Exodus 3 to 1 morning line. Okay, I guess he can win. I guess Love Me Tomorrow can wire the field. I guess there'll be 1-2 around the track. But you want to peg either one of them at short prices?
No.
The first-time starters don't look particularly appealing to me. For what it's worth, Kelly Breen, first-time stars and maiden claimers in the dirt, he's 1 for 11, 54-cent ROI. Linda Rice, she rarely wins with first-time starters on any surface. Why would I want the 6? David likes Happy Hill Lil. I don't know. Why?
Off the eased.
And the other races aren't any good.
No.
They are. Horse might win, but I want a new face in a race where I can't stand the others. And Venita's first race, I think, was very interesting.
Yeah.
Watch it yourself.
I would assume I can't remember the name of the horse. You had the horse third, the one that won.
Yeah, I was live in the double. I had a double going. It was
Oh,
paying
that was the
$400
donk
with
horse
the
that won
donk horse that
Sunday.
came back and won at 17 to
Yeah,
1
who
his
we-
next start.
right,
Cat.
yeah. We talk about
I
it.
picked in 2 straight races. Picked the third on Sunday and came back and won at 17 to 1. Yes, I'm fully aware of what happened with it. But thank you for bringing it up.
You're welcome.
I'd be winning for the meet if that donk horse had won last time before. You're not getting a particularly good right. Beat a better field last Sunday.
Only problem, those two, the first 2 horses.
I wouldn't say much better, but better.
Lido Key and yeah. Anyway, this horse's problem, if she has speed like the other one that won, is she's going to have to deal with Love Me Tomorrow.
This is why, Anthony, you don't. Let me just say something. I want to be clear about something. Glenn was expecting the storm today. There were issues with other horses being on the racetrack. That's why you have to be careful. We have to be careful. They were. Glenn knows when the storm is coming.
Well,
That's why the track being muddy. They were expecting the storm.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
This horse is going to have to deal with Love Me Tomorrow, Venita, if she has speed. And that can be troublesome.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Venita having speed.
Okay.
I'm not. I mean, I'm just worried about her running. Maybe she's just not much horse. You know, that's what worries me about her. But I'll take my chances against the others. You know, Love Me Tomorrow's had so many chances.
Okay.
Race number 7, late pick 4. This scratched down to 4. Why did Cucina scratch?
I don't know.
Is it possible she did?
Didn't
Possible
ship.
he didn't ship either. Yeah, that's a new thing.
Didn't ship.
I mean, isn't Kingmeister just supposed to be better than these horses?
Yes.
What about Chase Tracker? I have a question about Chase Tracker.
Late equipment change there. Blinkers off, by the way.
I see that. Let's talk about Kingmeister first. Go ahead.
I mean,
I'm distracted. Sorry.
That's okay. After this horse debuted, finally, the debut wasn't great. There's 2 races at a mile. Got beat to Cost Basis, who's a pretty nice horse, and came back and won at Gulfstream. We didn't see this horse for a while. Had the trainer change to Shug McGahee. They tried this horse on the turf first time. That was the race where Montauk Daddy ran off. Horse ran well enough on the turf. I mean, scratches down to 4. He's, his dirt form. I mean, to me, 2, 6, and 8 makes sense. I just think he's probably has a little more blue sky than the other 2 do.
I think he's a better horse, Kingmeister.
Yeah,
I also think he's the lone speed. But Chase Tracker's dangerous. My question with Chase Tracker was, and I didn't get a chance to look this up this morning because there was just way too much going on. Was MEB Racing Stable part owner, with the owner before? I see Nick Zito is part owner now with MEB. They have had horses with Todd in the past. Did they have this horse initially, or was this a complete private purchase?
Oh, I would assume that this horse was theirs because,
I don't assume anything. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I would assume this is.
Why would you assume? You could look it up.
Did you look it up?
No, I'm wondering if somebody wants to text me and let me know if this is Chase Tracker with St. Elias. So it actually wasn't MEB.
It is, but I think that's Teresa. I think MEB is Vinny's wife, is St. Elias' wife. It's the same ownership group, if you will.
Okay, you're sure of that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I don't know. So you're saying it's the same ownership group, but now Nick Zito has a piece of this horse.
Correct.
Okay. This
And
horse
they do have
I'm going to tell you
horses with
something.
neck.
This horse is talented and a better sprinter. Now, I understand that it's Todd Pletcher and Nick Zito, but you're going to really let this horse beat you?
No. Nope.
I don't. Plot the dots, I guess, could win. The dirt races aren't bad. I have trouble believing that Kingmeister's not going to beat that horse, but maybe I'm wrong. You're probably right. Probably supposed to use all 3.
I think you have to use
Press the 8.
right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
And not arithmetic. Not
No, I won't be using arithmetic, pronounced correctly or incorrectly. Race number 8. Race number 8 changed dramatically with the scratch of the number 6, Anthony's horse. It's all relevant. And it's going to leave Blewett loose in the lead. I originally was going to try to beat him, but you have to. There's some picks I'm going to change after scratches because it's not right. Because this is a completely and totally different race with It's All Relevant in it than with him not in it. Wouldn't you agree? And now Blewett is just in a cruise position on the front end, and I don't see how he loses this race. His recent form is very good, and he's just supposed to beat these horses.
You and I are going to fight now.
I'm going to fight. This
I'm
should
not
be
going to argue now.
You're going to make something up?
I'm not going to make something up. I'm going to bring up intent. And I don't understand. I know that Blewett is faster, but Seafoam has to be forwardly placed. He does not run when he's not forwardly placed. And I think the intent has to be forwardly placed and to be aggressive. And I think
he's not going to. He can't compete with Blewett early. He can't.
they still got to go. So you think Blewett's going to just?
What planet have you been living on for the last umpteen years here in New York that you see all these speed duels taking place out here? Is this it? I want to know because I want to go to this planet.
Let me hear me
But
out.
Anthony, it doesn't happen. So why do you keep saying day after day after day that we're going to have these speed duels? They never
because
happen.
this horse has to be forward. He is.
Yeah, he can sit second and still win.
Where? Where is that happening? The one time
on June
at
8th.
Belmont?
Okay, you said where it happened. That one time at Belmont. I don't have his prior races on my form, but my guess is it's happened before. I didn't look them all up. Did you?
No.
But he did happen. One of the 4 wins on paper, he rated. You realized he was gifted the race last time.
Oh,
there
yeah,
were 3
that
faster horses, and they all rated.
Yep.
So maybe Blewett is going to rate here, because that's what Todd Pletcher likes to do. He likes to rate speed horses that are 4 to 5.
I'm just saying, I don't think he's going to be able to control like some people
What do you think
he's
the
gonna
pace is going to
control.
be in this race?
If Seafoam's ridden the way I think he's going to be ridden, they're going to go 47.
You're on drugs. Seriously, were you drinking before you came on the show?
If Seafoam is ridden
There are
aggressively,
people right now that are gasping for air. They're laughing so hard that you think there's going to be a 47.5 in a 1.125 race here. Seriously.
47 and change.
Even Tom Amos would bet higher than that. And Tom and I disagree with paces all the time. You're insane. You're insane. What 47.5 have you seen in one of these races?
They go 48, Seafoam will be in front.
Oh, my God. You're so out of it.
They go 48, Seafoam will be in front.
Okay. Let's bet. Let's bet some lunches on that.
Okay.
If the half is 48 or slower, I bet you Blewett's in front.
Okay.
Okay. It's 56. We can bet 3 on this if you want.
Okay.
Okay. You're insane. I mean, I don't... Based on what? Okay.
Intent.
Anthony, when have you been right about this thing? When have you been right?
Been right plenty.
Up? No, you haven't. You're down 56 lunches because you're not right on these things. And paces don't materialize here. They just don't. They just don't, Anthony.
Well, there's a horse that has to... Look, there are times when I'm incorrect here, but this horse has to be forwardly placed.
He will be forwardly placed. He'll be sitting second to Blewett. I don't have any problem with that. I don't think there's an argument he's going to be sitting second to him. Why would I argue against that? But he's not going to be in a big cutthroat duel with him. Okay. Because there's been a cutthroat duel here. There's one every 3 months. As far as growth engines winning the Monmouth, and I'll show you a stat, I would have liked him if the 6 had been in the race. But and this field was okay that he beat last time. He ran very well when he was second here last year. You're falling apart, Anth.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. And I'll show you an interesting stat for Chad Brown. Second off a layoff, off a win in a dirt route. He's got very strong numbers. I like this horse. I think he's okay. I just don't see out under the circumstances that he's going to beat Blewett. But you've imagined a circumstance where he's going to. And I wish you the best of luck with it.
I think Blewett's going to get pressured, and I think this horse is going to set the right trip today.
Okay.
I do.
How's that stat?
I didn't know it, but I like it. It makes me feel a little more confident. My confidence has grown. Like the growth engine.
Listen, I think he can win. I would use him in here. I just think Blewett's going to be in straight. And Blewett's been in good form. He ran very well in the commentator. He brought that form up. He's not a turf horse, so I don't care he did last time.
Right.
I don't see how Growth Engine can get a trip that's going to beat Blewett. I think Blewett will be odds on, as he should be. I'll use the 1 and 2, but I just don't see how it's going to happen here. I think you're imagining. In fact, I think, let me ask you a question. I think Winston's Chance is going to beat Seafoam.
Okay.
What's the prices here? No, the same price. I'll bet you lunch the 6 beats the 3.
No, I like Winston. See, to me, Winston's Chance is a little bit of a wild card in here. I'm not telling you I'm over
I got
the
a
moon with
question
Growth
for
Engine.
you. So you've got the 3 dueling the 1 into defeat and still beating him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. I absolutely do.
I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. Good luck.
Thanks.
going to take this puck away from you.
I don't need the puck, Andy.
Yeah, but I'm faster than you.
I don't need the puck.
So the 4-star Dave, one of the few grade ones, and I'll tell you, there are other grade one turf races here. The Chad Brown is not one. He's got a pretty strong hand here. Let's talk about this race. Let's talk about Raging Bull and Without Parole and the Shoemaker Mile.
Tale of two trips, right?
Yeah. I mean, Joel Rosario, in a fast-paced race, kept his horse out in the clear. Brad Ortiz got into a little trouble trying to save ground. And I always feel that saving ground can be overrated in these situations because you don't want this to happen. I don't think he was beating Raging Bull.
I don't either.
But he should have been second and obviously would have been closer. I will say, though, that Without Parole was much more compromised in the Maker's Mark than Raging Bull because he was much more hurt by the slow pace than Raging Bull last year. Not slow pace, but a pace that held together. Raging Bull, however, was rail first turn, 3 to 4 wide second turn. Without Parole was, similar. He was a little less wide in the second turn. I'm going to trust Raging Bull to get it done more than Uni because I have some reservations about Uni. Let me ask you a question. Who do you think will be favored between Raging Bull and Uni?
I think Raging Bull will be favored. And I think
Uni will.
I think the decision, I think ultimately people are going to see that Joel Rosario stuck with Raging Bull and not Uni.
But we don't know the circumstances.
That will be, I don't know if people necessarily care about the circumstances. I think that they will see that Joel Rosario is on Raging Bull, and I believe that he will be the favorite. I think David has it.
No, I'm not arguing with David. I feel like a lot of people like Uni. And I'm wondering.
Okay.
It's hard. I mean, I don't think it's. This is one you wouldn't bet me on it because I don't think it's cut and dry.
No.
I think it's very close, and I don't have a strong opinion either.
I'll tell you another thing too. I think Halliday can fight for favoritism.
We'll get to him in a second. He can't. I don't see how, but we'll get to him. You think he can fight for favoritism?
I think he can fight for favoritism, but I think a lot of people think he's loose on the lead.
Well, he is loose in the lead. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not sure why that matters, but okay. Not that he can't win. I prefer Raging Bull. I'm scared of all of Chad's horses near. I'm scared of Without Parole. Maybe Without Parole gets forgotten about. They ends up 5-1. Maybe he's the right bet. Is that possible?
Yeah, he could be.
Well, look at Uni beating Got Stormy. And, of course, Got Stormy won this race last year. She's not the same horse that she was last year. Aren't you a little worried that Uni's a 6-year-old mare and she's not going to get back to her good form of last year?
Very little. I am.
Very little.
I think when the fillies and mares start to creep up there in age, you do have to worry about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I think
that was the difference maker for me.
It's okay. Fair enough.
I don't listen. I can give her an excuse. Last time, newspaper record is very good. She wired the field. She probably moved too soon, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Too soon, right?
Yes. No. I agree with all of that. I'm not.
And when horses like Uni,
I'm not against Uni by any stretch of the imagination.
So when horses like Uni, and this is kind of the reason I like Uni today, when horses like Uni, who have that one big, and Raging Bull's the same way, they have that one big explosive move. When you ask them to do what Uni was asked to do last time, move sooner into a slow, not a slow pace, but a loose. When you ask these horses to run for an extended period of time in a race, as opposed to drop the hands at the quarter pole and just come running, they get a lot out of the race. And I feel like she probably got a lot out of that race last time. And combined with the fact that I think she might be a little less compromised by pace than Raging Bull is.
Really?
I do.
I don't.
I do. If allowed to do her thing. And last time
they're pretty similarly slower.
They are.
They have very similar pace
But I
figures.
do think she is affected a little bit less.
Why?
Than he is. Well, he's the kind of horse where when you ask him to start grinding.
But isn't he a better grinder?
I don't think he's much of a grinder. I think if he was a good grinder, I'll put it to you like this. I think Uni wins the Maker's Mark mile off of that trip last time, and I don't think he does because I think he's a little bit more explosive. So with these paces, I think it's going to help her. And I did not handicap this. I just got done telling you I scratched the main track onlys. The give in the ground probably helps her more than it helps him.
Do we really think there's going to be give in the ground? I'm dubious. I know when we
I
had
think
that,
there has to be
Anthony,
a little bit, Andy. No,
I don't think I don't think the monsoon was any worse than the one we had on Wednesday. Wednesday was like 15 minutes. I think it was less. This one, I'm looking at the paddock. It's probably less than it was, but it's close. Okay, and I think if you look at those races, I know we list those courses as good. Look at the race that horse wired for Ned Howard, 141. Maybe a little, but I don't know. What if we don't get any more rain? It's like this all day.
I don't necessarily. I mean, I should probably look at the times a little more. What I do is I look at the course, and you're 100% right. There was no kick up. There was nothing coming up.
I've seen pancakes come up on days when there was no rain.
There was nothing going on. No, you're right.
So I'm just saying, I'm not convinced there's going to be much give. I think there was concern running races on the inner with the big stake coming up in the grade 1, et cetera, et cetera. Courses have taken a bit of a beating, et cetera. There are other reasons why these things happen, and it's unfortunate. And the last thing we want to do is take off. And I think, despite what some people seem to think on the internet, we don't take so many races off the turf. And we've run plenty of races on yielding turf courses. Belmont, we ran, where we barely took any races off. We ran plenty of races after we got a lot of rain.
We definitely run the most races on yielding turf course where it's actually labeled yielding.
Yes. You make a great point.
Thanks.
On that one. Anyway.
Yeah, without Parole.
I just think that Raging Bull and Uni are similar horses. I took Raging Bull. I like both of them. Think they can win. I think that Without Parole can win. I even think Valid. We have to hurry because we're running out of time. I realize that. Let's look about Holiday. I like Holiday more than you because I do worry a little bit that he could wire the field. My problem with Holiday, and this is him winning the Sunshine Forever, is these were very firm Gulfstream courses, and these were just much weaker fields, and he was allowed to control. But, they rated last time. It was a mistake. It's not going to happen again. I'm not sure why there's this narrative that speed couldn't win earlier at the meet. I think continuously the races were situational.
Something like a hot round 1.
Yeah, I just thought it was a narrative that I never agreed with, and I will never agree with it. I think you have to look at the races individually. I'm a little concerned he could wire the field. You aren't at all. I am.
Like you said, he was catching that cement down at Gulfstream Park, and he was beating up on horses that have come back and run for tags. No, he's not for me. He's not for me.
He also beat a horse, Aquaphobia, won a grade 1.
He did.
He beat a horse, Aquaphobia, that won a grade 1. Let's tell the truth.
Yeah, but Aquaphobia also won the grade 1 going a mile and 3/8.
He beat Social Paranoia, who came back and won the poker. So he didn't beat a bunch of horses that won for tags. He beat a bunch of horses that won graded stakes.
He did. But though that course is much more conducive to his style than this course is.
There's someone talking to you. Race number 10. Let's take a look at Letterman.
Cheek piece is on again.
He is a wackadoo, this horse. Good luck to Tyler riding this horse. But, boy, the Jimmy Bond Express, I'm not getting in the way of it.
No, sir. Kathy Naz. Good job yesterday, Luis Saez and Jimmy Bond. Yeah, this horse is just he's a handful. I think that's a nice way to put it. He's an absolute handful.
He is, but he's pretty good.
He's talented. He is talented.
I scratched into him on top.
Okay.
You've got the 5 Battalion on top. I don't like Battalion at all.
Yeah,
I know he beat Winning Factor. I got him second. I actually scratched into him second.
Talk about a handful. Right? He was acting up the other day. He dropped John Velasquez in the post parade and ran off. He was scratched the other day. So you got a couple of bad actors in here. Letterman and Battalion. You got a couple of horses that have given their riders fits in the past and here. Yeah. I have them 1-2 the other way. Maybe a little Ravenio for me.
I think we got to go.
Right at Joel.
Been a pleasure. Should we do this again tomorrow?
One more, yeah.
Okay. We'll see you again for tomorrow for the show. But right now, because think how much fun you just had. Join Naira Bets. Have more fun. Support racing in New York. Free $25 play. Match up to $200 of your initial deposit. Use the promo code Derby25. Once you've joined Naira Bets, you can participate in wonderful things like betting 25 or more in the last race here, the 4th at Del Mar. This is all throughout the weekend through the app, $5 bonus. Also, we have a Derby bankroll builder. Bet 50 or more to win on any horse in the 4-Star Dave and get $20 for your Derby day. Win or lose. Great situation, great value situation. Cross country, pick 5. You can play this anywhere. Race 5 is Saratoga. Race 9, the 4-Star Dave. Then 3 graded stakes, races 7, 9, and 10 at Del Mar. I think it starts in the middle of the afternoon around 3:15 or 3:30, and it ends around 9:30. So it's a 6-hour cross country, pick 5. You could fly get in an airplane after the 5th race, fly out to California, and be at Del Mar in time for the P Classic. See the last leg. Think anyone's doing that? I don't. What else? Saratoga Sunday contest. We seed it with $2,500, $250 buy-in. Register now at NYRA.com/challenge. You still have a few minutes to do that. And also go to NYRA.com/Saratoga Live to get all the times for Saratoga Live all day, every day, what networks will be on. And we're always on the NYRA YouTube page. Anthony, it was a pleasure. Now it's going to be a pleasure to hear the dulcet tones of John and Brielle with a reprise of the Scratches and Changes.
Hello, racing fans. Once again, welcome to Saratoga. Mostly sunny skies right now. The temperature will be right around 80 degrees this afternoon. The main track is muddy. It is now harrowed. Main track muddy and harrowed. We are off the turf today for races 1, 3, 5, and 7, and we are on the turf for races 9 and 10. Turf courses are good. We have a jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of more than $506,000. If that is not hit today, there will be a mandatory payout, a big payout tomorrow here at Saratoga. Here now the changes in the first race, which is off the turf, same distance on the main track. Scratch 3 after 5, 5 takeaway, and 7 My Sea Cottage. Scratch 3, 5, and 7 out of the first. Second race, note that number 3 Kilmarnock is 2 pounds over. Third race off the turf. It'll be run on the main track at the same 5.5 furlong distance. Scratch 3, Tick Van Flew, 4, Blind Willie McTell, and 5, French Reef. Scratch 3, 4, and 5. On to the fourth race. Scratch number 1, the Big Fundamental. Scratch number 1, a rider change on number 2, Chief Know-It-All to Benjamin Hernandez. Benji Hernandez rides number 2, Chief Know-It-All. Race 5 will start the Empire 6, and it is also the first leg of today's cross-country Pick 5. In the fifth race, the 1A Repo Rocks will now be ridden by Jose Ortiz. Jose Ortiz on the 1A. Scratch 2, Lease. Scratch 3, Sifting Sands. Number 4, What Makes Sammy Run will be ridden by Luis Saez. Luis Saez on the 4. Scratch 5, Take Profit. Scratch the 7, Snows Island. Also scratch 8, Win From Within. And you can now scratch the 10, American Diamond. And number 12, Mo Mischief. The jockey is Johnny Velasquez. Velasquez on the 12. Recapping the scratches in race 5, which is off the turf and will be run on the main track at the distance of 7 furlongs. Scratch numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 10. No changes in the 6th. 7th race off the turf. That will now be run on the main track at the distance of 7 furlongs. There's no show, trifecta, or superfecta wagering. Scratch 1, Turn of Events. 1A, Doubly Blessed. Scratch 3, Cucina. 4, Assiduously. Also scratch 7, Lonesome Fugitive. And 9, Alley-Oop, Johnny. Scratch 1A, 3, 4, 7, and 9. Number 5, Arithmetic. There's a jockey change there. The rider will be Benji Hernandez. Benjamin Hernandez on the 5. And note that number 6, Chase Tracker, will be running with blinkers off. Blinkers off the 6. In the 8th race, scratch number 6. It's all relevant. Scratch the 6. The 9th race is the Grade 1 4-Star Dave Handicap. And there are no changes. In today's 10th race, number 1, Letterman will run with cheek pieces again. Number 8, Hold My Call, 4 pounds over. Scratch the 9, Rakiz, and the 10, Starship Bubba. 10th race, scratch numbers 9 and 10. And ladies and gentlemen, today's 9th race is the $400,000 Grade 1 4-Star Dave, run at 1 mile for 3-year-olds and up. The 4-Star Dave is part of the Breeders' Cup Challenge Win and You're In program, a series of qualifying races held at racetracks around the world. The Breeders' Cup Challenge Series is administered by Breeders' Cup Limited, which also conducts the $35 million Breeders' Cup World Championships, to be run this fall at Keeneland November 6th and 7th. Here at Saratoga, we have that jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of $506,564. Again, the main track is muddy and harrowed. On the turf today for races 9 and 10 only. On the turf for 9 and 10, turf course is good. The opener at the Spa in 35 minutes